Hello, welcome, Cabin Chair. So we have some limited time Christmas monsters coming our way with their extreme missions. And then I thought I would make this video to talk about, which ones are good, which ones are not so much. And then I wanted to kind of make this video in a hurry, because if we look here, well, this one here, Mommy, she has a lot of appearances. She's a new one for this year. However, Mary from last year, for example, she only has 5 appearances. So if you're interested in making this one, you want to, make sure every appearance counts. Same thing goes for Noelle, Light Noelle. Here is Carol. She has a lot of appearances. She's new as well. Who else we got? Odago. Another old one, only appears 5 times, so be sure to look out for that. And then Wood Noelle, also 5 times looks like. And then Knuckle, 5 times. And I think that's all of them, yeah. So the ones from the previous years, you want to work on, as much as you can, as early as you can. If you need to choose between them or the new ones, so Mommy or else Carol, maybe put off Mommy or Carol until later, since they will be available longer. Okay, but anyway, let's go into the monster box and then see who is worth making. And then we can go in order of when they appeared. Alright, so first, this is Odago, and then she's, boy, been around 3-4 years maybe. And then this one here, the evolution version, she was the best max luck for Izanami, way back when Izanami first came out. She's a Pierce with no gravity barrier and Deity Slayer. And then she has a tackle strike shot, which is very strong in a weak point, and then a cross laser L. Overall, her damage is very low, unless she is, playing against deity bosses. There were a lot in the early days of Monster Strike, but recently not very much at all. So yeah, you're gonna want to use her for Izanami and probably maybe no one else, which is too bad. She probably has my favorite artwork from that those early years of Monster Strike, especially like the haircut there. And then the Ascension version, she has a little bit more usability, a teeny bit better stats, and then she has Recovery S on the gauge. That does mean, however, that her gauge is very fast. So some people, they can manage it just to do it, just with their reaction time, whatever. But some people will use her with the metal item, where it's 100% guarantee on the gauge. I don't feel like that's a good use of medals. I would much rather use my medals to get extra treasure chests, or else get gold ableberries. But if you really like this character, then it might be worth it to you to use. She does have the Blast Bump combo, and any drop monster that is Pierce with no gravity barrier and a Blast Bump combo is worth having. But yeah, I'm thinking that even if way in the future they do some kind of like an update to the game where they make the gauge for Recovery S regular, I still don't think I would use this character. But at the very least, I will get one of each drop, just for old time's sake. And yeah, if you did have some Evangelion characters, some Hatcher monsters, or some Max Lux, they would be really good for her mission, because she does the power down, but with that AT field, you can protect yourself from that. That also works with Lucifer Ascension, so you can try those monsters in her quest. Okay, and then the year after that was Noelle. Let's see if I can find that. And then there are multiple versions of Noelle, so let's look at those. Oh, all the way up here. Okay, so first we have Light Noelle, Pierce with null damage wall, and then the Pan Elemental homing shot, and then a X laser strike shot. She is not that great. If you were to make a max luck of someone similar, I would recommend Takayasha. I think she's just better overall, and she's also available all the time. But she's probably my favorite of all of the different Noelles that we're going to look at, just color-wise. Next up is Wood Noelle. Also a Pierce Null Damage Wall, same everything, same bump combo, strike shot. But for a while, she was my preferred Wood Pierce Null Damage Wall Max Luck, more than Gigamantis, because I think she has a better bump combo, the Pan Elemental versus the Cross Laser. And then she had better stats as well, compared to Gigamantis. So I really like to use her in like Bishamonten and stuff. But now, with Jiraiya out, I would more recommend Jiraiya than this Noelle. Okay, and then finally we have Fire Noelle. And then the way that you can access Fire Noelle's quest is to go to either the Light Noelle or the Wood Noelle's quest with a fire monster with null damage roll. That can be a Max Luck, that can be a Hatcher monster, doesn't matter the position. But that's how you access Fire Noelle's quest. And yeah, this is the evolution form. Again, same stats, abilities, strike shot, whatever. But I would say it is worth having one of her, even at 1 luck. Because she can be pretty good for floor 33 of the Tower of Champions, if you had nobody else. But now, for a Max Luck, we have like Shin Kohyo or Fukahide, and they are always available in the library, so you don't need to make the evolution form of Noelle. However, there is an ascension form of Noelle, and she's pretty darn good. She is a bounce with null damage wall, and then Beast Slayer, I believe, and yeah, decent stats. Actually, stats are a little bit low. But she does have a speed and power up strike shot. And then she has speed up S as a bump combo. This is super unusual for a drop monster, and that alone makes her worth using. And actually, that would make her kind of usable in Hakua, because you do want speed up in there, because you want to hit like multiple guys per turn. And then she also has the Beast Slayer, which will work on the wolves in that mission. So I believe she can one-punch any of the wolves, no matter the element. So that makes her good for there. So if you did want a Max Luck, where you could use to make other Max Lucks as you were hunting for Hakua, she could be a good choice. The other good choices are like Kushinada and Tsukuyomi, and they are impossible monsters, so yeah, this character would be easier to make than them. I, however, will not be making her, because I have the Izanagi Kai with the speed sub-bump combo, and then he's also a bounce with null damage wall. And yeah, his quest is easy-ish, so I'm going to make him. And then he also has the light element, so he can go to any element quest, and then the full resistance and Sprite Slayer and lots of different stuff. So I will be making the Max Luck of him instead. One other thing about this Fire Noelle Ascension, though, is that she is a good Max Luck for Shambhala, if you were wondering about who to use there. She does have the Pierce Spread shot, which is perfect. If she picks up a sword, and then you hit her bump combo, she'll shoot out her spread shot, and then that will take down the eagle guys, and then some of the other guys, and then Shambhala's like left hand, for example. So she's pretty good for that mission. Alright, so that was Fire Noelle. Okay, next up, let's look at last year's monsters. Whoops. And there she is. Okay, so this is Mary, and then she is based on Chosen. I'll show you that later. Same abilities, Pierce, Null Warp, Null Gravity Barrier, but is a fire element instead of wood. She changes from a balance type to a speed type, so her HP and then her attack go down, and then her attack is pretty low. Yeah, and then it's even harder for Pierce monsters to do damage, so for her direct attacks, you can't really expect much. But with that Null ability Pierce combo, She is useful in places like Kushinada, and then recently Kanan. People will say that she's good for Kanan. I don't know about that. Her attack is very low. But she does have the abilities, and then she is a Pierce, which I believe is better than a Bounce for that quest. She has the Critical Luck skill, which is good for a speed Pierce type. And then the Strike Shot is kind of unusual. It's the 16-turn Command Strike Shot, which also is not that powerful, but it does charge up quickly, and then it can get your guys moving, which might be enough to, help you get you where you need to go. And then her bump combo is the lock-on shockwave, and then the Pierce version of this is very, very strong. Unfortunately, this Mary has the standard version, which is not very good at all. So the reasons why you would use her are for the double null ability and then the strike shot, I would say. Otherwise, I would say no. And then let's look at other characters with that same double null ability. And actually that double null ability is very rare. So we can see here that Hendrickson, he's got it, but he's no longer available. There is, here's Cholsen, just the standard version. Slightly better stats, but overall the same deal. Who else we got? There's Melonhead, no longer available. Let's see, 13th Angel, no longer available. Bishamonten, who is really good, but an impossible monster, so it's not going to be realistic for most people to make the max luck of her. And then there's Scorpica, and then she's in the library. She's always available, so she might be within reach for many other people. But she is a little bit on the difficult side. She is a super extreme monster. So yeah, if you didn't have any of those other guys, maybe making Mary would be a good idea. But I have Hendrickson, and then I am working on Bishamonten, so I'm not going to go for Mary myself. Okay, and then next up is Tonako, and then she's based on Ki. She doesn't have quite the crazy stats as Ki, but they're still very good. HP is almost tank level. Attack is very high, 22,000, and then with a gauge and a slayer on top of that. Speed is so-so, but she's good in so many other ways that I forgive it. She has a Mech Slayer M, and that's passive in her, so that will go into her bump combo as well. And then she has a Null Warp. And then there are a few characters that are bounce with Null Warp that are wood. But I don't have any actually right now as a max luck, so I'm definitely going to try to go for Tonako. Other good characters, this is a Giga Fighter. I think they're pretty good. They have that Pierce lock-on, Shockwave, and then also Null Block, so that's pretty good. Who else is available now? Here's Pencil Base. He's okay. He does have the Paladin Slayer, so that's something. And there's Siren, but she's not very good. Who else we got? Marishten. He's probably the best bounce, wood, null warp drop monster. But he's an impossible, so until you make him. Who else is there? There's Medusa, but also not that good. And then Nunarihyun X, still pretty good. Although the X quests have not appeared in a while, I feel like, so I don't know. And then there's Yoshinobu, who's always very good. But yeah, if you do not have anybody, I could highly recommend Tonako here. High stats, Mech Slayer, the Explode on First Contact Strike Shot, which is a good source of damage. This bump combo is not so hot. It's a Pierce, it's a Rebound Pierce bump combo. The Mech Slayer will go into there, but otherwise, yeah, I wouldn't worry about that too much. But yeah, this one's only going to appear 5 times, so I'm going to try to make the most of those appearances. Okay, and then we can finally look at the Christmas monsters for this year. So here, this is Mami, and then she's based off of, what's her face? The Ranger, the Butterflight Ranger. But yeah, stats are, they're decent actually. HP's okay, attack is it's okay, but she has a Slayer as well. And then speed is okay too. But actually, she is a Blast type, so considering that, her stats are decent. For abilities, she's a Bounce with Flight, Mech Slayer again, and then Null Magic Circle. And yeah, Null Magic Circle is pretty rare, especially for a drop monster. But there have not been a lot of quests where we need a Max Luck with Null Magic Circle. And so it's hard to recommend her. She might be good in the future, but it's impossible to tell, you know, what's going to happen there. And that kind of same idea came up talking about Hisoka from the last Hunter x Hunter collaboration. He was hard to recommend as well, because I don't know how much Null Magic Circle is going to appear in the future. Her bump combo, however, is pretty good. It's the Homing Piercer, and then she is a Blast type. So she has that magic damage number, 3345. Although, I don't feel like saying that much anymore, because this bump combo has become kind of outdated, and it doesn't do as much damage, percent damage, as it used to. I've noticed that enemies and then bosses have much more HP these days, so this bump combo is not as good in the modern game. And then Strike Shot shoots the laser, and then with homing shots, that's fine. And I was debating whether to use her, because, you know, what if Null Magic Circle becomes really important in the future? But then I remembered that I had Mikumo here as a Max Luck. And she's kind of the same idea. Also fire, deals with the mines, and then with the 8-turn Strike Shot, she basically has no Magic Circle. So that sealed the deal for me. I don't need Mami. Okay, and then finally, here is Carol. And actually, I'll show you the pre-evolution form, because I really like this artwork. It's very good. She's based on Plum, which was the previous metal monster. But anyway, her stats, HP is okay at 21, attack is pretty good at 22, plus a gauge, and speed is pretty good as well, especially for a Pierce. She is a Pierce with Flight and Null Gravity Barrier, and then already this should be setting off alarms in your head. This is a very rare combination to have for a drop monster. So let's look at that. Okay, we'll do that. Alright, so these are all the Pierce Null Gravity Barrier characters that deal with mines. And all of the other drop monsters are either impossible or limited. So this is a very, very, I guess, rare combination of abilities. So we'll look here. Here's Armageddon. He is a Colossal. Who else is there? Here is Angelia. She was part of a, I forget, it might have been a Dream Charl thing, but also no longer available. Here is Kain, Impossible. Here is Shambhala, Colossal. Doraemon, he was from a limited time collaboration, no longer available. And who else we got? And that's it. So a couple of, or a few Impossibles and a couple limited, and then that's it. So yeah, if you look at it just from that point of view, this is a very, very good monster to make the Max Luck of. And then actually, I don't have any Max Lucks myself with both Flight and Null Gravity Barrier. So that means I don't really have a Max Luck for like Akala. So I do want to make the Max Luck of Carol. The bump combo, same as Plum, she has the shotgun. And she also has the bump combo critical as a luck skill. So that's pretty good. And then Strike Shot is the first wall she touches, she'll create a healing wall. And then I think she gets a little bit of speed and power up. And the healing wall is not great. I think you get maybe 2,000 HP per hit. So you need to get a lot of hits to get any real healing in there. So if you did use it, I would try to go for more of the speed and power up using that. But yeah, decent bump combo, decent Strike Shot. I would say she's not as good as Angelia or Doraemon. So if you did have one of those, maybe you could skip Carol, but I don't, so I'm definitely going to go for Carol. But yeah, that is a quick look at all of the Christmas monsters available this year through the Extreme Quests. And yeah, hopefully you get what you want. Alrighty, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.